Dopamine is a crucial neurotransmitter in the brain that plays a significant role in various physiological and psychological processes. It is a chemical messenger that transmits signals between nerve cells, neurons, and is associated with feelings of pleasure, reward, motivation, and movement control. Here's how dopamine works in the brain. Synthesis. Dopamine is synthesized in nerve cells from an amino acid called tyrosine. Tyrosine is converted into L-DOPA, L3,4-dihydroxyphenylalanine, by an enzyme called tyrosine hydroxylase. L-DOPA is then converted into dopamine by another enzyme called aromatic L-amino acid decarboxylase. Storage. Once synthesized, dopamine is stored in small sac-like structures within nerve cells called vesicles. Release. When a nerve impulse travels down a neuron and reaches its terminal, it triggers the release of dopamine from the vesicles into the synaptic cleft, the small gap between neurons. Neurotransmission. Dopamine molecules released into the synaptic cleft bind to specific receptor sites on the neighboring postsynaptic neuron. This binding triggers a response in the postsynaptic neuron, transmitting the signal further along the neural circuit. Reuptake. After transmitting the signal, some of the released dopamine is reabsorbed back into the presynaptic neuron through a process called reuptake. This helps regulate dopamine levels in the synapse. Degradation. The remaining dopamine in the synaptic cleft is broken down by enzymes, primarily monoamine oxidase, MAO, and catechol O methyltransferase, COMT. This degradation prevents an excessive accumulation of dopamine and maintains the proper functioning of the system. Dopamine receptors. Dopamine exerts its effects by binding to specific receptors on the surface of target neurons. There are several types of dopamine receptors, categorized into two major families: D1-like receptors, D1 and D5, and D2-like receptors, D2, D3, and D4. These receptors are located in different regions of the brain and have distinct functions. Dopamine's role in the brain is diverse and has a significant impact on various aspects of behavior and cognition, including reward and pleasure. Dopamine is often associated with the brain's reward system, reinforcing behaviors that lead to pleasurable experiences.